I've really enjoyed adding some of the like before the thing, like us just being like, "Hey, let's do whatever," and then it goes into the intro.
You mean like this right now?
Yeah.
Hurry.
Hello and welcome to the Filter Free Podcast. I am your host, TJ Stevens.
Problematic.
Out of my left earbud.
Getting off to a banging start here.
Joining me as always,
Step ends.
Dollar Bill Dave.
I touched myself.
I just need to clip that. Just Dave leaning for. I touched myself.
And Timmy C.
Goo goo goo.
Dave's is awesome, and he got a new hat, and it's hilarious. Are you drunk? Yes or no? And it's marked on the right-hand side for both.
Time limit draws get my panties wet. I love it.
We've covered this butt wipe on a few different occasions.
Butt wipe?
You don't call people butt wipe anymore?
No, I'm not 7. Good news is I've limited the producer's amount to screw us over this, so we're actually going to get to sing along with the songs now. You are welcome.
You gotta fight for your right to party!
Pow!
Hello and welcome to the Filter Free Podcast. I'm your host, TJ Stevens.
Step in.
Joining me as always, Dollar Bill Dave.
Back home from the Rumble.
We're going to talk about that here in just a second. Timmy C.
Who?
So, Dave, before we get started with the plugs and the whatnot, we need to go over the Sweet Life in Tampa. You were the only one that was there representing us. I took my wife
And the fun director.
and Justin, and I took my wife to Hamilton, as you guys saw pictures of on Twitter.
Took her to Canada?
Canada. How was
Ontario,
Tampa?
baby.
And that's right, Windsor.
Tampa was great. Got to go to Hogan's Hangout. Hulk Hogan made a surprise appearance. Went to a store to look at all the overpriced merchandise that I did not buy.
Been there.
Saw Ronnie Garvin punch old Cassio in the nose.
He earned it.
Yes.
Got to sit back in the green room and hang out with Brother Brutus the Barber Beefcake. That guy's in terrible looking shape, man.
Yes, we saw him on the Jericho Cruise last year.
He can't even stand up straight. He was on the Jericho Cruise last year?
Yeah, he was hunchback like the whole time. And I'm not saying that to be mean, but he was like hunched over.
Yeah, he can't even stand up straight.
Surprisingly, wrestling not good for the body.
Then the next day they did a private screening of Glacier's new movie.
Glacier has a new movie.
Mortal Kombat!
It's like called On Broken Ground or so. It's supposed to be like a spoof film of 1980s action, whatever. Didn't see it. I was in the green room the whole time.
Yeah.
That I would watch. I thought you meant like he had a documentary.
No, it's actual movie with him and Ming.
I think I would watch it.
Ernest the Cat Miller.
I was like, he was at WCW for like 2 weeks. How does he have a documentary?
Glacier and Ming were both there.
I like it.
So got to meet them. They were nice. Road Dogg was there.
Really, Road Dogg.
I mean, it was a really good time. I was ready to get home. You know, I'm kind of a creature of habit.
A homebody.
I like being not a homebody, but a creature of habit. So I like to be. I mean, as much as I travel,
vodka local.
When I'm not with my wife and kids, it gets weird. You know,
I agree.
I like to be with my wife and kids.
Yes.
So had a blast, hung out with Blaine, and I didn't get to. I mean, like Justin called me today. Didn't get to spend a lot of time with Justin. I mean, it was just busy. It was a busy time. Justin was entertaining a host of people as well. But my little brother did get to come. He came to the Rumble with us. So I got to see him. Got to see my older brother. Didn't get to see my sister, but that's all right. Gasparilla was going on at the same time. So I was down there.
What is that?
Gasparilla is the invasion of the Pirates when the Pirates invaded Tampa Bay back in the 18 whatever the hells.
Was Tom Brady there?
Yes.
So they do this thing called the Gasparilla Parade. So like a week ago, it was the Gasparilla Children's Parade, and it's, you know, for kids. And then last Saturday was the Gasparilla Day Parade, and it's a huge thing. You know, they call them crews. It's like clubs that you join, and people dress up as pirates, and they go and pass out
Like
shit to
the
people. And
Masons or
it's a drunken party. And then they up the ante, and next weekend is the Gasparilla Night Parade, and it is literally Mardi Gras. Beads and titties, man. That's what it is. That's a lot of that happens last weekend too, but not near as crazy as the night parade.
so TJ, apparently Dave missed the good weekend in Tampa.
The good weekend in Tampa is the
Want to fly
weekend
down to Tampa next weekend?
February, like February 10th or whatever. That's the night parade, and it is absolute insanity.
I'll be at a different parade at that point.
What I'm waiting for, all those things sound great, but what I'm waiting for is I asked you how the Sweet Life was, and you haven't even mentioned it.
It was so good.
Good.
So we had a blast. The suite was cool. Tropicana Field does not have the best suites. I've been there for baseball games. They don't have bathrooms in the suite, so you have to go use the Poors bathroom too. So the beer was cold. We didn't really order any food. It was funny because Hoop was so drunk by the time we got there, and then he wanted pulled pork nachos.
Mm-hmm.
So he tried
specific. Like I don't just want food. I want.
Well, he wanted pulled pork
nachos.
So he wanted pulled pork, and then he spent an hour trying to talk them into serving us food. But by then it's like, dude, you guys didn't order. You have to order it before the event.
Right.
So then he finally went down a couple concourses and actually got some pulled pork nachos. So then he was good. He shut up from there on.
Good.
But drunk Hoop is a funny Hoop, man.
Yes, he is. And mean.
So I believe the only Sweet Life we've done where they've actually served us after the fact, I think, was St. Louis, because we got the all-you-can-eat nacho bar. Was that
St. Louis joined us, did it after the fact.
Yeah.
They were the only one.
So we have no plan set in place. A couple of weeks ago, we kind of joked that we were going to go to, well, I wasn't joking. We were going to go to Waterloo, Iowa this summer to go see Josh Odom's plaque that is now hanging in the Wrestling Hall of Fame. We might actually be doing something around that. That's only a 5-hour drive for me. So, Dave, you've already said you're not going. So,
well, I mean, I might end up going. I told the wife I was going up there, and I said Top Guy weekend up in Waterloo, Iowa, and her response was she's glad she's not a top guy. So, I mean, she didn't shoot it down yet. It really just depends on what weekend it's going to be. I have a lot going on this summer.
Sure.
So if it's the same weekend as Top Guy weekend was last year, I won't be home anyway. I'll already be on vacation. So it really just depends on when it's going to be, because I've got just mega amounts of shit. You guys are going to see I'm gone damn near all summer.
So it's a good thing we're not doing this live, Timmy. Timeout. Edit out when he said it was Top Guy weekend, because they haven't announced it yet.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't want him to think that we know so right. So just edit that part out. The rest you can leave in is take out Top Guy weekend. So yeah, we got might be going to Iowa this summer.
I might fly and ride with you, because I don't want to. It's 8.5 hours for me. I don't want to drive that.
That's fine.
Pick me up in Moline.
We've been talking about jumping back into the indie scene this year. So I mean,
I want to go check out Rocket City Wrestling again.
I'm in. I would like to see one of those shows.
Rocket City.
Yeah. It was fun down here.
I actually liked Huntsville when I went last year. Yeah, I liked Huntsville.
I love living here. I was just in the car with my buddy's wife and Jandy, taking them to wine tasting night, and
it's Wine Wednesday. Yeah.
The only thing I miss right now is my close group of friends that we had in Illinois that we hung out with.
You had a great neighborhood.
So I don't have that yet.
But you're quickly working on it. You have more friends. We were discussing this before we started recording. You have more friends in 2 months there than I have in 25 years where I live.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're in talks with people. We're might be doing some of this event coordinating thing. We really enjoy it, and we think we're good at it. So we might be doing something with that. We have ideas for growth this year.
Indianapolis, maybe.
Maybe that's only 2.5 hours for me, not even. So we're gonna dip our toe in some different waters this year and see if you like the Sweet Life, let us know. We're gonna do more stuff like that. But we're also trying to look into building an entire day around it. right? So, but hey, while you're at that, while you're writing this,
Well, what we're going to do is we're definitely going to start working around smaller stuff.
yeah,
Every time we try to plan something at big events, it gets overshadowed by the big
That
dogs.
damn Conrad Thompson.
well, Nashville's.
So,
I don't know.
Nobody does it on purpose.
I don't know if I've ever told this story, but Nashville, when we went for SummerSlam and did the Sweet Life, we actually had Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson, and Kerry Morton booked for a reasonable price, I may add. And we had a bar picked to do karaoke with Ricky Morton with the Rock and Roll Express. And they did the roast of Ric Flair that night. So we couldn't do it. Come to find out, Ricky and Robert had a table.
Well, it also
right next
bit
to
us a couple years ago. We did the Royal Rumble and we had a thing planned there. We still did it, but
Right.
ad-free shows ended up coming in. So, and it killed all the vibe of what we, and I mean, I get it. They're a bigger machine and they offered up, they had Jeff Jarrett, Nick Aldis, and
yeah. We had Moonshine Mantell, who was awesome. Brandon Cole, who was great.
Chris Rucker.
And Miranda.
His dumb ass.
We had Miranda
Gordy.
Moonshine Mantell, and Brandon Toll. But
all great.
But I will tell you, you will get a far more intimate, more enjoyable experience with us because we just sat there with Miranda hours
all night.
Well, we had Moontime in our. We had Moontime. We had Moonshine in our suite the whole time for the Rumble, and then we hung out with them afterwards.
Yeah,
but see, for us, it's whatever event we pick, how many people we can fit in the suite. That's it. That's all it's going. So it's going to be a small group of us, 12 to 15 people. So we can kind of. I mean, there's not really something we can't do because there's too many of us, right? We kind of do whatever we want. So
I like the idea of us trying to host our own events, do some live shows or something in a small, intimate setting.
Yeah.
We don't have to have the big numbers of the big dogs, and, we don't have to sell out, with a few hundred people to see anybody live. We can do it on a small scale to just help grow our brand. And I think that's the perfect way to go about it. And, the three of us have had a lot of conversation lately about making Filter Free Popcast a bigger brand and how to go about growing, our business and what we want to do to make it fun for everybody and not forget our roots. And I'm not saying anybody else is either, but obviously we would love to have Jeff Jarrett and Nick Aldis and Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair.
To be fair, we did have Nick Aldis.
Well, we did have Nick Aldis.
We were this close to having Nick Aldis.
But it would be nice to, have live shows with all these old time stars or current stars, but we're not there yet.
Right.
So what we're going to do is focus on upcoming stars or indie wrestlers.
Yeah, the indie scene.
And to this day, over the course of the last couple of years, we still keep in touch with Moonshine and Miranda. And they're I mean, these are all great people.
JT Energy and
so whatever we can do to help them grow their brand, even if it's just a couple people, that's cool.
Yeah. But while we're while you're sending us ideas of things we can do over the course of this year, you should also follow our show on Twitter, now verified, at FF Popcast, on Instagram at Filter Free Popcast. Follow our network at Filter Free Nets, patreon.com/Filter Free, and of course, Premier Streaming Network at Watch on Premier. Timmy, what is available at our Patreon network? And by the way, if for our loyal Patreon followers, before Timmy gets started, we've been slacking ass. We understand that's all going to be remedied soon.
We were also talking about that before we started recording. For now, you will find Legends Let's Rethink This Footballers, which there will be a new one of those coming before the Super Bowl. Evolution of Evil, Wrestling
Next
with
week.
Commercials. There will be one of those probably by the time this comes out. Plus, our list of 2024 events. I know we've been talking about Indianapolis.
Yep.
We've had a Waterloo. I mean, lots of ideas bouncing.
Waterloo. And the thing about Waterloo is, depending on how many days we get and when SCW is running, maybe you'd be able to do something with them. We just mentioned Rocket City Wrestling. The only wrestling promotion around me is Black Label Pro. So
Well, there's an NXT show going on from me an hour away Sunday,
nice.
but
And
the local promotion's kind of winding down.
I really hate to do this, but we have to address the elephant in the room. And we're going to handle this a little bit differently for our current topic today because it's something we can't really joke about. Now, if you listen to our last show, which was Rumble 98, and you're asking yourself, well, why didn't you guys address the Vince McMahon allegations during that show? Well, we always record a week before. And when I believe whenever we recorded that show, it was the next day that story broke.
It was. No, 2 days. They broke Thursday.
2 days later, it broke when I was so I drove to Chattanooga to fly down to Tampa. And when I got to Chattanooga and sat down waiting to get on the plane, all hell broke loose on Twitter. So it happened when I was in the car because I got there and what in the hell's going on here? And then you start reading some of the stuff and mortified.
And again, we've said this several times on the show. Nothing's been proven, but there's a lot of smoke in the area.
Disclaimer: all this is alleged.
Right. As of this point, yes. So, for one, if any of the allegations are true,
fuck that guy.
Vince McMahon should be buried under the prison.
Mm-hmm.
Period. End of discussion. And all three of us grew up WWF, WWE guys. We've glowed about them before. We've had fun with Tony Khan and AEW, but if any of this is true, Vince McMahon goes straight to hell, as far as I'm concerned. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out with Brock Lesnar because he was also named. Well, he wasn't named, but they said a WWE champion. There was also a UFC champion. Figure that one out. I don't think it's Dan Severn. And one thing before you guys chime in here, one thing I keep hearing, and the outrage is fair, right? The outrage is completely fair. Anything you want to say about Vince and John Laurinaitis, because he's also been specifically named too. Fuck that guy too. But anything you want to say about them two, tee off. But this idea that somehow the other higher ups at WWE are also responsible, like TKO, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, yada yada yada, down the line, they're also responsible. Well, they knew. You can't say they knew, and you could say, well, their family, how'd they not know? I have some examples. John Wayne Gacy was married, and she never knew there was 29 bodies under her house. Ted Bundy was dating someone while he was killing co-eds in Washington. Jeffrey Dahmer, well, he kind of lived by himself. So that's not a good one. I had a third one. But we go like serial killers. Dennis Rader, the BTK killer, was married for 35 years.
Married with kids.
Yeah. So, I mean, people, listen, if you're doing something this heinous, you're not running around bragging about it. They're very good. People with this mindset are very good of hiding it and keeping the light away from it.
And when you have billions of dollars, that also
there's
helps.
that too. So this idea that, well, everyone knew because Vince was doing it, that's not true or fair to assume that.
Did everyone know Vince was having affairs? Probably.
Yeah, definitely.
Did they know the extent of what he was doing in these affairs?
No chance.
That's where it gets different.
Right.
That was a level of weird that I would have never thought it. Like, who does that?
Especially, here's my take on it, guys. And both of you can join me in this. I have 2 daughters.
Yes.
Timmy, you have a daughter. TJ, you have a daughter.
Yep.
Vince McMahon has a daughter.
Yeah.
He has multiple granddaughters.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of person does this to someone else's daughter?
Right. Yeah.
Because how would Vince feel if somebody did that to Stephanie?
Right.
Well, I agree,
that's
but
literally, so the way I treat women, and especially the way I treat my wife, I try to be the husband that I want my kids to grow up to marry. Because I tell you right now, getting paid millions of dollars or not, if I ever found out somebody did to my daughter, what he allegedly did to this poor woman,
Slit that motherfucker's throat.
bitch, I'm going to fucking prison forever.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm killing a bunch of people. There
Without
ain't no
hesitation.
way. We would have some issues. Whoever was involved, you can damn well bet I'm trying to do something crazy. There ain't no way. And I could never imagine. I mean, I'm also normal. I could never imagine doing that to somebody.
Like, what, how screwed up in the head are you that thought enters your mind? Like, I'm going to defecate on this lady during a threesome, and then I'm going to go shower up, but she's got to stay. What the hell are you thinking, man? Nothing about that is normal.
No.
You have
It also makes you
damaged
wonder
so much that you want to put that hurt on other people.
But it also makes you wonder, maybe there was more to this Rita Charlton thing back in the 80s.
Sure.
Maybe there was more to, and this is only one.
Right.
Yeah. You think that she was the only one?
There's more out there. Because, I mean, they said he had, what was it, something like $14 million or something?
Yeah.
Was paid.
Yeah.
This is only $1 million.
Right.
Where's the other 12 or 13 million?
Well, into the back end of that, the only reason this is coming to light was he stopped paying that non-disclosure agreement.
Right.
That's why she's able to talk. He breached the contract. How stupid are you that you were able to keep that quiet? And we're like, yeah, I'm going to stop paying that bill.
She's not going to say anything.
Well, he's been invincible for so long, right? Why would now be any different?
I don't care. If I've got that kind of stuff in that closet, as a billionaire, I'm going to keep paying that $1 million.
Well, again,
That's
Vince might not think this is like out of left field abnormal behavior.
Well, I guess if you're willing to do that stuff, you obviously don't think it's that bad.
Right.
Which is ridiculous.
Another thing I saw, which is, again, you know, the not fair category, was Ronda Rousey tweeted out that as long as Bruce Pritchard's there, you know, Vince McMahon essentially assumed that Bruce Pritchard has been the mole. He's hiding all this shit. Again, that's not fair because you don't know that. You assume that from all the things that people have said about Bruce Pritchard over the years, that he's, you know, a Vince McMahon yes man, all other stuff, which may be true. I don't know. I haven't worked there. But to assume Bruce knew and was hiding it is not fair either. Like, this is a terrible thing. But as of right now, we only know of two people and an unnamed person that rhymes with Croc Besner that we know are involved, right? Vince and Laurinaitis.
And I think Lesnar just caught a stray, honestly. From the details of it, like, it almost seems like Vince was trying to push this woman onto him.
I haven't read the specifics. I from what I read, they were making content for Brock, and it was a part of his.
Yeah, the way I read it, and I'm not going to say that I'm a lawyer and can speak legalese, was they were doing it to entice him, and that apparently they invited him to meet her, and then Brock got so inebriated that he just got back on his plane and left. I've seen Brock Lesnar. You know how much it would take to get him so inebriated to the point of, I'm thinking he might have just been like, you know what, y'all might be crazy.
It doesn't matter. His name's tied into this now.
Oh, yeah.
Done. He's done.
Dirty.
There's no coming back from it.
But and also to what Dave said about the daughter thing, every time something like this happens and somebody says, well, I have daughters, it's not always the greatest response, but you'll see it sprinkled throughout conversations. Oh, really? We got to have daughters to be this outraged by it? No, you can still be outraged by it, but the difference is when you have daughters, like Dave just said, my daughter is 5 years old, or will be in a few weeks. If I saw a 6-year-old bullying my daughter in front of me,
I'll punch that sucker in the nose.
It would take me everything I had not to kick his teeth out. And it's a 6-year-old, right? Like, I understand that.
Imagine a 76-year-old.
Right. Like, your rage is that huge at a young age. When she's a grown adult woman.
Remember my shovel story?
Yes. And incredibly rich and powerful man is doing this to your daughter, and not only that, but sharing it with other people.
Yeah.
Oh, good luck keeping me from burning his house down, please. Like it just takes it to, again, you can be outraged, that's fine, but when you have a daughter, it just takes it to another level. But yes, moral of the story is Vince McMahon, if any of this is true, may you rot in hell, sir.
Correct.
Yeah.
Let's do a show.
And I hope you go to prison.
I mean,
Federal pound me in the ass prison.
It's a very distinct possibility. Oh, that's not going to happen.
I don't think it ever ends up going to trial.
Well,
we'll see if the
suit's
feds
not criminal. The suit is
right. But there could be more.
Right. She's just the first. There could be more. But what do you say we raise the energy and start the show?
I agree.
I think we've made our opinions clear. Timmy, you ready?
What?
Because this week we're going back to
1988.
February 12th, 1998.
Well, I remember
we watched some WCW Thunder.
88.
What? No, it's 98.
I know. Remember last week I kept saying 88?
Yeah, you did.
I ruined the spoiler.
You did. You spoiled it. We watched some Thunder.
Yeah.
Timmy hated the show.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it.
I didn't hate it.
It was okay.
It was still, this was only the 6th ever episode of Thunder, so it still had a little bit of spark, but it didn't take long for Thunder to go to shit.
Yeah, Hogan and all those.
Yeah,
guys,
episode
like,
2.
I'm good. I'm not going to that shit. However, before we talk about Thunder, let's see what was happening in your world yesterday. Let's run through some events filter free. Up first, stories that missed the cut. I gotta wait for the breakdown.
Yes.
Oh, February 2nd, actor Daniel Baldwin is hospitalized for a cocaine overdose.
A Baldwin on cocaine? Surely not.
At least he didn't shoot anybody.
Not yet.
Definitely, allegedly.
No, he did it.
But what should be charged with it?
He is being charged with it.
I know.
Yeah, he just pled not guilty today. I read that.
Well, wasn't it kind of the same situation as The Crow with Brandon Lee?
Yes. Yeah. February 3rd, 36-year-old Mary Kay Letourneau violates her probation after she meets with the father of her child, who was 14.
How is this a story that missed the cut?
Right?
This is way better than Pamela and Tommy.
I don't know. Pamela and Tommy's pretty good.
That's a pretty good one.
It doesn't get any... Dude, this story... They just got divorced recently.
I mean,
he was 28 and she was dead.
I can guarantee you this is
she's
not
dead
the
now,
only...
isn't she?
I don't know. But I think she is. I can guarantee... I think you're right. I can guarantee you this is not going to be the only time this story comes up over the course of this show. So I'm sure we'll get another chance to cover it.
She died in 2020.
There you go.
COVID.
February 3rd, the New York Yankees... Cancer, yeah. That's what I thought. February 3rd, the New York Yankees signed Brian Cashman as the new GM. He's still there.
For now.
25 years. That's a good hire. I take it. February 4th, an earthquake, not John Tenta, shakes Afghanistan, killing over 5,000 people.
You know how far spread that earthquake had to be to kill 5,000 people in Afghanistan?
One cave.
No, that's like 42 caves, which is 12,000 square miles.
No.
February 4th, Bill Gates gets a pie thrown in his face while in Brussels.
What was her name?
I don't think it was a she. I think it was an actual pie.
Oh.
Brussels
Brussels sprout pie?
Oh, that'd be... February 5th, we need to revisit this one, as this is when Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan speak on Fox.
Why?
Have we ever done Tanya and Nancy? I don't think
we've done Tanya Harding.
Have we?
Yeah.
February 6th, the Minnesota Twins send second baseman Chuck Knobloch to the Yankees, Brian Cashman, for $3 million and 4 minor leaguers. Those ended up being Brian Buchanan, Christian Guzman, Eric Milton, and Danny Moda.
Cincinnati Reds legend, Eric Milton.
Never heard of him. Milton Bradley.
He was a pitcher.
Great.
He sucked.
He was not great.
I would imagine, again, I've never heard of him, so I would imagine that's the case. February, and y'all are in my division, so I would have noticed him at some point if he was worth a shit. I know Eddie Toppensy. So February 6th, Carl Wilson of the Beach Boys passed away at age 51 from lung cancer.
Loved him in Rocky.
Hot take here. The Beach Boys are better than the Beatles.
You say it every week, so it's not really a hot take anymore.
It's what we call a reheated take.
Lukewarm take. February 8th, we have the NBA All-Star Game in Madison Square Garden as the East beats the West 135-114. Your MVP is some guy named Michael Jordan.
Well, at least you put that in
Nope.
the cut. Missed the cut. Terrible.
February 9th, Ken Griffey Jr. and Mia Hamm win awards at the 6th annual ESPY Awards.
Nobody watched it.
I've never watched the ESPYs, but I would watch for Griffey.
Well, he was getting ready to go to Cincinnati.
Great. February 10th, those sons of bitches. AOL raises their internet access flat rate from $19.95 to $21.95.
I remember in like 1996, my dad was about ready to murder me when our AOL bill came in at like $240 one month.
I think all of us of that generation did that at least once.
Yeah. When WWF had an AOL chat room.
Oh, yeah.
I was on that bitch for
Hey, that's what we should do. And forget this podcasting shit. We should just start charging people to get back on the internet.
we could start, making group chats or chat rooms and like cybersexing people again, like it was 1997.
No, we
actually
charge people to get on the internet like it's not free anymore.
ASL, buddy. ASL.
ASS.
Age, sex, location.
Oh, I'm rubbing my hard wiener.
You're 76 and a woman.
I'm not even I'm typing that.
With my dick.
I'm taking off my pankies. Backspace.
Yeah, there's a couple 25-year-olds like, what are you guys talking about? That was the thing in the 90s. I
remember telling my mom, oh my God, there's all these girls that want to talk to me. She's like, those are like dudes, probably, right? I was like, really?
My mom said truck driver. She always said that's a truck driver.
Which is really dangerous, typing while going down the road.
Yeah,
I think we need to forget wrestling with commercials this weekend. We should have an old AOL Time Warner chat room.
AOL chat
discussion.
Bring back some ICQ.
Just some of the discussions we had over.
You know what?
Message boards or whatever. They're not message boards. What are they called? Chat rooms.
Chat rooms.
Yeah. This feature has a chat.
It does.
We could do a live talk along and discuss our AOL chats. No, not cybersex. Let's avoid that. But we can talk about 90s stuff.
Oh, hey. That would be fun.
I like that. Just nostalgia BSing.
So for people
I just went to Blockbuster. Age, sex, location.
So people watching and or listening to this, they're like, did they have all that planned? Literally, what I read, AOL raises their internet access flat rate from 1995 to 21. That's all that was written. The rest of that was just
ad lib. Yes,
our brains. That was our.
We do that well.
I miss AOL. Those were good times, man.
Those were good times.
I used to go to the Bone Thugs and Harmony chat room.
You know what I love is I still have to, like, when I hire people, I have to get their email address. It makes me perk up every time someone still has an AOL email address. How do you have that still?
You know what's funny is, do you guys know what my AOL Instant Messenger tag was? T. Stevens 91. Yeah.
I can remember my college girlfriend's tag. It was night 1998 at AOL.com.
My original Hotmail address was tboski40 at hotmail.com.
Boski.
Yeah.
February
February 10th, Buddy the Wonder Dog, a.k.a. Air Bud, passes away at the age of 9 from cancer. That's sad.
Spoiler alert. Haven't seen that movie yet.
You haven't seen Air Bud?
He's dead. Don't worry. They replaced him quickly.
He didn't die in the movie, but...
With another golden retriever?
Wouldn't that be terrible?
Golden receiver?
If it was like Brian's song, but they had the dog from Air Bud?
Could you imagine, like, going to see Air Bud? Like, this happy, oh my God, it's a Disney movie where a dog can play basketball.
He's dead.
And 3/4 movie, like, is the dog dead? What the hell is going on here? My kids were crying in the theater.
It's the St. Bernard from Beethoven doing the
Yeah.
basketball tricks. What the hell happened to that dog?
How did you guys turn Air Bud into Bambi? This is bullshit.
Beverly Hills Chihuahua dog is now Airbud.
They have to have someone throw the dog. Go!
This is going to be a good show. I can feel it already. February 11th, lyrics to Candle in the Wind were auctioned off for $442,500. I mean, I could have wrote them down for free.
Pretty sure spelling would have stood in the way for that.
Mm.
You'd have forgot all the U's in the words that are
It's true.
O-R.
It's true. Vor. Lori.
Vor.
They don't say truck on the
V-O-U-R-E.
Yeah.
Vor.
No, there's no E. It's just V-O-R.
Oh. No, it's V-O-U-R. 'cause it's
V-O-U-R.
British.
Vower. February 12th, the Dallas Cowboys hired their first coach in team history, Ken Gailey.
Is he like Brian Cashman still there?
I forgot he was a person.
So did he.
February 14th, Valentine's Day. Sharon Stone marries Phil Bronstein in Beverly Hills.
They still married?
I have no idea.
I bet he had good sex. Just throwing that one out there.
Why?
Have you seen her movies?
Oh, I thought you meant he was good at it. I'm like, why would you think that?
What did I doubt it? He was probably very bad at it.
February 20th, the U.S. movie box office clears $1 billion in the shortest time in American history, just 51 days.
We'll find out why here in just a few.
Ooh, well done. We call that a tease. February 20th, David Carradine marries Marina Anderson on the back lot of a Warner Brothers studio lot. They got divorced in 2001. I can't imagine why.
Probably because he kept having to be choked during sex.
Yeah, you really like autoerotic asphyxiation.
And maybe
Sharon
because
Stone got divorced in 2004, by the way.
and
Wow, they made
maybe
it
because
successful.
he was so cheap, he had the wedding on a backlot at Warner Brothers Studios.
Yeah, all they had to do was clock in. All right, we're good. Let's go. February 24th, Elton John is knighted by Queen Elizabeth II. This was after he sold his lyrics to Candle in the
The
Wind.
Candle in the Wind. He weirdly enough paid $425,000 to be knighted.
Right.
Dude had a great February of 98.
He did, killing it. February
Hakuna
24th,
Matata.
American comedian Lenny Youngman passed away at age 91.
Never heard of her.
Well, actually, it's
Heroin-
not even Lenny, it's
her-
Henny.
Heroin overdose?
It's Henny Youngman, not Lenny. It auto-corrected it for me, Dick. It's Henny Youngman.
It's because there aren't any Hennies anymore.
No. February 27th, talked us up with the category of stories I didn't expect. New England Patriots running back David Meggett is arrested in Toronto on sexual assault charges.
New York Giants legend.
I
What
didn't
happened
see
to
it
that?
David
coming.
Meggett.
I don't know. I didn't see it coming. But you know what I do know about is stories in the wheelhouse. February 15th. Let's head to the racetrack, Timmy. It's February, which means it's Daytona 500, boy. Dale Earnhardt finally wins the race that eluded him for so long here in Daytona. This was the 40th running of the Great American Race and had a star-studded field, Timmy. The 18 of Bobby Labonte won this pole, with Sterling Marlin and Dale Earnhardt winning the two dual races. The top 10 cars as they rolled to the first green was riddled with Hall of Famers. Earnhardt, the
Are they
Labonte
golfing?
brothers- Yes.
Roll to the
Labonte
first
brothers-
green?
Shut up. The Labonte brothers, Terry and Bobby, were 1 and 2. Sterling Marlin, Dale Jarrett, Michael Waltrip, renowned fatty Jimmy Spencer, Mike Skinner, Ward Burton, and Ernie Irvin. This 1998 season was also the 50th anniversary of NASCAR, and to build up anticipation for the race, CBS aired the greatest finishes in Daytona 500 history. CBS aired the show on television with Mike Joy, Buddy Baker, and Ned Jarrett on the call. And despite Timmy thinking this race is only for rednecks, 13 million people tuned in for the race.
Lasted 18 minutes.
The whole race?
500
No,
miles?
the greatest of all the races. They're like 7 wrecks.
I don't understand what you're saying right now.
You said they showed the greatest Daytona 500.
No. This is the actual race itself. Drew 13 million people.
Oh, well, what
I just
about
phrased
the?
it.
I think the pre-show would
I don't know.
18
Had
minutes of pre-show.
6.3 million.
18 minutes of footage.
Jeff Gordon was dominating the first part of this race in the number 24 DuPont Chevrolet when the green lap pit stops began. As Gordon was in the pits, Ward Burton in the 22 car cut down a tire, leaving debris on the track, thus bringing out the caution while Gordon was still in the pit. if you don't watch NASCAR, Timmy, and don't understand why this is a big deal, this resulted in Gordon being forced to start from the rear of the field on the restart.
Because he was in the pits?
Yes.
That's dumb.
It's not. It's a rule.
Dale Earnhardt led Bobby Labonte and Jeremy Mayfield heading into turn 2.
Who?
Lake Speed and John Andretti got together, and both cars spun, setting up a scenario where Earnhardt, Labonte, and Mayfield were all in contention for the win.
Another great NASCAR name, Lake Speed.
Lake Speed.
That's how fast Dave drives his boat.
Lake
True.
Speed.
Lake Speed.
These days, when NASCAR throws a caution, the field is frozen immediately when the caution flag flies. But in 1998, I almost said 88, the car and
It was also the way
in 1988,
yeah.
the cars would still race to the start finish line.
That seems safe.
While racing back to the caution flag, the three came up on the lapped car of Rick Mast. Earnhardt easily passed Mast on the outside, while Labonte lost Earnhardt's draft, while Mayfield sped to the inside of Mast.
Well, they were on
was able to
sailboats,
hold.
so that was a problem.
Earnhardt was able to hold off Mayfield and Labonte and finally win the Daytona 500. The only thing left for him to do in this sport. After the race, Earnhardt dedicated his win to his late friend and colleague Neil Bonnet, who died 4 years earlier while practicing for the 1994 500.
I remember that. Tragic.
And I knew exactly where Timmy was going with his story as
Yeah, of
soon as
course.
I wrote the name.
Of course.
I mean, to be fair, this isn't even the most notorious Daytona 500 Earnhardt was at.
no, that was 3 years later.
3 years later, he would make bigger news. But let's talk Kentucky drug superstar Jeremy Mayfield. On May 9th, 2009, Mayfield was suspended indefinitely by NASCAR for violating NASCAR's substance abuse policy. Mayfield
What was he doing, Timmy? What was he doing?
Well, we're going to find out. Claritin's a hell of a drug.
Claritin.
Mayfield stated, quote, "I believe the combination of prescribed medicine and over-the-counter medicine reacted together and resulted in a positive drug test. My doctor and I are working with both NASCAR consultant Dr. David Black and NASCAR to resolve this matter." However, the week after his suspension, Mayfield stated he had only taken 2 tablets of Claritin D and the prescription drug Adderall, which he stated was prescribed to assist his attention deficit disorder.
That's
And
weird.
then
I didn't know those. I didn't know those two things, Claritin D and Adderall, made what he was ultimately busted for.
Well, first off, he shouldn't be taking 2 tablets of Claritin D. But anyway, because you know why the D in Claritin D is used to make? We'll get back to that in just a
D's
second.
nuts.
We'll get back.
Okay.
And then he never used any sort of illegal drug. On June 9th, 2009, ESPN.com stated that during random drug screening on May 1st at Richmond International Raceway, Mayfield tested positive for methamphetamine.
Not
Guess what's
Claritin
used-
D.
No, well, that's why you can only buy so much Claritin D, is because people buy it to make methamphetamine.
Or like Jeremy Methfield.
Leave him alone. He's a fine Owensboro, Kentucky citizen.
Except he's not.
He's not. No, he's definitely a drug addict. Mayfield is adamant still about his innocence from NASCAR's charges. By the way, he's driving again. That seems safe. In an interview with the Sporting News, which doesn't exist anymore, in 2014, Mayfield said he was willing to take a drug test. Well, of course you are. It's 5 years later, you son of a bitch. You think it ain't out of your system yet? But only as long as he can pee in a cup for LabCorp or some other credible lab.
I know this guy named Greg that works over at LabCorp.
Greg Brady.
Get him in here. I'm in.
Yeah, what are you doing? Let's continue on this path.
Is
On
Greg
November,
Brady the one that nailed Marcia?
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Cool.
I'm sure several others have too. Not Brady's, but definitely other dudes.
Tom
Brady. He's probably could.
Kyle Brady.
Beef O'Brady.
Officer
Brady.
Bar Brady.
Officer Gar Brady.
On November 1st, 2011, sheriff's deputies searched Mayfield's home in Catawba.
Catawba.
Where the hell's Catawba?
You wrote it. I don't know.
North Carolina, I think. There's lots of meth there too. Based on an informant's statement that Mayfield and 4 accomplices were staging burglaries to support Mayfield's methamphetamine habit. All right, maybe. Well, I guess it would have been out of the system in 2014 still. Mayfield was taken into custody after deputies claimed to find 1.5 grams of meth residue on a plastic bag in a gun safe. That's probably just that damn Claritin again.
It is in North Carolina, by the way.
Son of a bitch.
Also, for people wondering,
I tried to change our Twitter name to Officer Barbreed, and it won't let me because our thing is under review for our blue check mark.
That's true. If you're wondering, like, wow, Jerry Mayfield got busted once for a drug test and was kicked out of NASCAR. No, it was like 4. They gave him,
and he's back in.
They gave him several chances to make a like, all right, Jeremy, you pass the drug test, we'll let you back in. Nope, pissing hot. Like, so it's
the lab. He's got to go to LabCorp.
I'm telling you,
where Greg Brady works.
Greg at LabCorp. He's the only one I trust. He also works with Barry Bonds. But we just talked about sports, so you know what it's time for now, right?
But today, I'm the greatest of all time.
Here it is. H. Pressure with 3. Winston's going to run the ball. Makes a guy miss. Comes down to over the second rafter. Off the floor. Nothing but net. Through the window. Off the wall. Nothing but net. You like that? You like that? I like that.
You gotta like that, right?
Jeff Gordon.
Can't wait for NASCAR trivia.
All right, Timmy. So we just covered a NASCAR story. But anyone who's ever watched this show knows you don't watch NASCAR.
Jeff Gordon.
So since you've never won
Michael Waltrip
a box score trivia, I'm giving you an option this week. We can either cover NASCAR, or I'm prepared to do either 1998 NFL or 1998 Major League Baseball. I'm letting you pick what the category is.
Let's do NASCAR.
What? Yeah! I did not see that coming.
This is awesome.
All right. So this is how I'm going to do. I'm going to do it a little differently. Dave, we're going to start with you. 4 people this season finished with an average finish. Make sure I have this right. 3 people finished this season with an average finish above 10. How many can you name? Actually, 2, because only one of them raced in one race. So there's 2. So let's do 15. Average finish above 15. There's a lot more. There's 7.
I'll go 2. Oh, 15? There's 7?
There's 7. Yeah. And one of them is Matt Kenseth, and the other one's Ron Hornaday. I'm going to exclude them. They were
I would have gotten Kenseth.
You would not have gotten Matt Kenseth.
He raced one race in 98.
4.
Okay. Go ahead. Name him.
Oh, okay. Jeff Gordon.
Number 1, 5.7.
Mark Martin.
Number 2, 8.6.
Dale Earnhardt.
Dale Earnhardt, no. Timmy, if you can name one more person, you will win the category.
Sterling Marlin.
Sterling Marlin.
In 98, get the fuck out of here.
No. Here's the rest of the people.
Tony
that,
Stewart.
Bobby Labonte.
That finished above 15th. Jerry Mayfield at number 7, 14.2.
Jeremy Methfield.
Bobby Labonte.
I said Bobby Labonte. I should win.
After you got it wrong, ding dong, 14.2.
I had 2 in the chamber.
Tony Stewart.
Jeff Burton.
Jeff Burton. That's a good one.
Rusty Wallace, 11.7. And
Darryl
Jarrett. Dale Jarrett at 11.2. So no points for that one.
Boo.
Here we go.
I should get 2.
You don't get any. Wins. Timmy. 5 people in the 1998 season finished with 2 wins or more. How many can you name?
You said 5?
5.
3.
Go.
Prove it.
Jeff Gordon.
Number 1 with 13. This was the year he dominated. He's crushed people.
Well, we talked about Earnhardt, so he won Daytona. I would think he won another one. Dale Earnhardt.
Dale Earnhardt won 1 race, the Daytona 500 1980. Dave, if you could get 1, you take the category.
Mark Martin finished 2nd.
Mark Martin won 7. Dave gets the point for that category. Timmy, I have to commend you on your bravery here for doing this. I didn't see this coming.
I've not bombed this as bad as you thought I was going to.
You haven't. Props. All right. Overall points lead. Dave, we're going to go back to you. Hold on. I clicked on the wrong thing and it reorganized as slow as shit. Where is the points? What happened here? All right.
Well, I know it was Gordon first, Martin second.
Okay, well, I'll take them 2 out. So how many of the other 8 of the top 10
Dumbass.
points finishing that year can you name?
Two.
Go.
Bobby Labonte,
Bobby Labonte finished 6th.
Jeremy Mayfield.
Finished 7th.
Okay,
Timmy.
Rusty Wallace.
No, stop. Timmy, if you can name 3,
Oh shit!
you'll get the category.
Okay, who were the 2 we threw out? I need a refresher. Jeff
Gordon,
We
Martin.
got Gordon and Martin, and he said
Bobby Labonte and Jeremy Mayfield.
Bobby Labonte and Jeremy Mayfield.
All right.
So you need 3.
Dale Jarrett.
3rd.
Terry Labonte.
Terry Labonte. Where is Terry Labonte? I mean, he finished. That's Todd Bodine. That's Pat Jones. Look at this list. Where is Terry Labonte?
he quit racing that year.
Finished 9th.
Oh!
So you got 2. You get 1 more. You win the category. No pressure. Is Timmy going to win one? I will shit.
Mudcat Williams.
Mud Skipper Jenkins.
Tony Stewart.
Tony Stewart. No.
Oh, loser!
Here is the rest of your top 10.
I get the point.
Dave was right. Dale Jarrett was 3rd. Rusty Wallace 4th. 5th, Jeff Burton. 8th, Dale Earnhardt.
I guess
Nobody
that would have
said
been.
Dale
Good.
Earnhardt.
You said he won 1 race. I assumed he was shit that year.
Well, you don't know. He's just very high average finish. 10th, Bobby Hamilton.
That's where you took your wife.
Isn't he a figure skater?
That's Brian Botano.
No, he's Cincinnati Red stolen base legend.
So, Timmy,
No,
you're
that's
down
Billy
1-0 because Dave's the only one that won a category.
He won 2. He won 2 categories.
What was the other one? Oh, yeah, you did. He just won points.
See,
Timmy, do you want to do one more category and try to get one before we're out of here?
We'll do one more category and then I'm gonna go pee.
You peed before the show started.
We're 54 minutes in.
Lord. Average. Let's do this. Let's do this one. I like this one. We're going to do pole positions. Timmy.
Timmy's on top.
Are we looking for strippers at Uncle Buck's Booby Bungalow?
8 people.
Mike Coos knows a
Mercedes.
lot of those.
8 people
Lexus.
had more than 2 pole
Oldsmobile.
positions.
8
Oldsmobile's out of
people.
NASCAR in 98.
8 people
8.
had more than 2.
Had 2 pole positions in 98.
Okay,
How many can you name?
Angel.
3.
3. Go.
Earnhardt.
No.
Good job. Way to go, Timmy.
Brooklyn.
Dale Earnhardt, I don't think he had a pole this year. He had as many as Hut Strickland, who had 0, which was also my name a few weeks ago. Dave, if you get 1, you win the category.
Jeff Gordon.
At
This
7, he led
seems unfair.
NASCAR with 7.
Like, my strategy is horrible for this.
Here's the rest of the.
Don't guess
the-
Earnhardt in the one that he's doing. Guess him on the one where he sucks.
Rusty Wallace had 4. Mark Martin had 3. So did Barry Labonte and Ernie Irvin. Dale Jarrett, Ward Burton, and Ken Schrader all
Who's
had 2.
Barry Labonte?
Terry Labonte. Bobby
Terry
Labonte. I meant Bobby Labonte.
He was on
Mix
steroids.
'em. That's the third brother.
Barry Labonte was on steroids.
Terry, Bobby, and Barry.
They drove the number 518 car.
All right. Pause.
Gee.
And we're back.
February 18th, one of the most iconic announcers in the history of sports, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a Cubs fan. Harry Carey passes away at the age of 83 due to complications from a heart attack. I'm sorry, the Reds announcers all suck and say dumb shit on the air to me.
No, Marty Brenneman was good. His son was just a shitbird.
Harry Carey resonated with baseball fans around the country because Harry Carey was ultimately a fan calling a baseball game.
And
And you could hear-
Castellanos hits a home run.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Sorry.
And you could hear
Cubs
the joy.
win. Cubs win.
You could hear the joy in his voice when he called games. His baseball career started in 1945 with the St. Louis Cardinals and spent the next 25 seasons with the team. When the Cardinals were asked why they didn't renew his contract, they were sly at best, merely stating that Anheuser-Busch's marketing department, who owned the team at the time, was not impressed with his ability to sell beer.
Bull. They were impressed with his ability to drink it.
He was plowed at every Cubs game. That's why we loved him. During the ensuing press conference, Harry Carey was drinking Schlitz.
What
the
if the
beer that
moon
made
is made of cheese?
It's the beer that made Milwaukee famous. I drank a lot of it in college.
I would eat
terrible.
some of that cheese.
Terrible.
After the fallout
Well, he
from
ate
St.
something
Louis,
else.
right? Stop it.
It was
After
a
he
bush.
after the ensuing after the ensuing fallout from the Cardinals, which Timmy will get into, he then moved to Oakland for 1 season, and then his Chicago sainthood began as he broadcasted for the White Sox from 1971 to 1981, and then took over the Cubs for the next 16 seasons.
Go Cubs, go!
He didn't say. They said, "Holy cow!"
Holy cow!
It might be. It could be. It is.
Take me out to the ball game.
Gary is credited with popularizing the singing of "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" during the 7th inning stretch. Throughout his broadcasting career, Carey would sing the song in his booth. There would only be a few people who could hear Carey sing: his broadcast partners, WMAQ radio producer Jay Scott, and the select fans whose seats were near the booth. In the early 70s, Jay Scott suggested that Carey's singing be put on the stadium's public address system, but Carey and station management rejected the ideas. It wasn't until a few games into the 1976 season when White Sox owner Bill Veeck,
Bill Veeck.
To be
That-
fair, he also did disco night. So
He did. He's terrible.
secretly placed a public address microphone into Carey's booth and turned it on once the Comiskey Park organist began playing so that everyone could hear him. Who would have thought that one of the biggest traditions in baseball would have come to life because of a hidden microphone? After Carey died, the Cubs would bring in guest conductors of the sing.
Sing.
they would bring him into of the sing.
After Carey died, the Cubs would bring in guest conductors to sing, and this tradition still lives on to this day.
Timmy, before
you think I'm cutting that? That's funny.
I don't give a shit.
Before you go, Timmy, I need to know if you guys know this legend that's in Chicago. Allegedly,
Definitely,
because Harry Carey, as the rumors go, he would drink a case of Budweiser throughout the course of the game. So as the legend goes, when he would sing the 7th inning stretch, because you saw him, he's leaning out the window, waving a microphone around. As the rumor goes, Steve Stone, the play-by-play guy, would have to hold him in the window with a leash so he didn't fall out.
He was wearing a leash.
Yes,
How come I
That's
don't
weird.
get to drink at my job?
right?
You do at this job.
I mean, I'd be dead in minutes if I did it at my job, but
I would be
Just throwing food at people,
You'd win Employee of the Month.
probably.
twice.
Man, this guy's kind of a dick, but his cheeseburgers are delicious. Have you tried one of these?
That's what they say anyway. This guy's a dick. What does he do? Okay, anyway, rumors that Carrie was having an affair with Susan Bush, great name, wife of Augustus Bush III, the oldest son of Cardinal President Gussie Bush, which is a terrible name. Then a company executive and later CEO of Cardinals owner Anheuser-Busch, that's a good name, I like it, began to circulate that after she was involved in a single car accident near her home in the St. Louis suburb of Ladue late one night in May of 1968. That's how far this goes back. She got in a single car accident in 1968, and that's how they found out that Harry Carey was giving her the old, a 1, a 2, a 3.
Well, they're right in their Schlitz.
Ah! The beer that made Bush famous. According to Anheuser-Busch historian William
Canodal Cedar.
No Dill Center.
Canodal Cedar.
Canodal Cedar. We'll go with that. It's not even close, but okay. Canodal Cedar.
It's pronounced Knob Gobbler.
I like that better. We'll go with that. According to Anheuser-Busch historian William Knob Gobbler, the two had been seen eating together at Tony's, a popular and well-regarded St. Louis restaurant where Knob Gobbler later worked, and heard the story from one of the senior staff.
Yokozuna.
Wait staff present said the two were both extremely inebriated, shocker, and openly affectionate. They stood out not only because they were well recognized around St. Louis, because I don't know, she was rich and he was calling Cardinals games, but because
in the crowd shirtless.
Because Carrie was 22 years older than her, which would have made her like 74 at that point, I'm pretty sure.
What?
The restaurant's owner had to tell the staff not to stare at the couple because he kept going, a 1, a 2, a 3.
Take out my penis.
It also was rumored the near fatal car accident that Carrie suffered later that year was actually intentional and related to the alleged affair. Private investigators working for Bush, that's a weird thing to work for, had found the telephone records that showed Carrie and Susan Bush made many calls to each other. Bro, they tried to kill him.
You know it would be a great ad transition right now if we had those? Manscaped. A lot of Bush in this.
Get rid of your Bush. They were trying to get rid of the
Bush
Carrie
story before we go on to the next one. Because this next story, there's no Bush in it at all.
There's no Bush. None.
No
There's
Bush.
some mountains.
Bush free. Yes, that's correct.
Head for the mountains of no Bush.
We're going from Bush to Coors Light. Coors Banquet beer.
The silver bullet.
February 25th. Hollywood starlet Pamela Anderson files battery charges against Tommy Lee, resulting in his arrest and their subsequent divorce 3 days later.
Like Energizer or Duracell?
Yes. Yeah. But no, stop it.
Keeps going.
Let's start at the beginning with these two because there's a lot. They were married in 1995 after meeting each other 4 days prior.
Seems legit.
Pamela's mother wasn't aware of the wedding because they didn't know either, to be fair. And actually learned of it in People magazine.
That's weird.
Yes. The couple had 2 sons together, Brandon and Dylan, but the couple's relationship was rocky to say the least.
Damn,
Kid Rocky eventually.
Yeah, right. Dave, you're going to be surprised, and I'm sorry, in this story. During their honeymoon, the couple took a houseboat on Lake Mead, which is now the locale for the first sex tape that I can remember that resonated throughout the entire country.
I hope they were driving at Lake Speed.
It was a text. It was a text and type. Well, he was driving with his penis, so
he was. Which I will give him credit. Man hit a man hammer. This stolen sex tape resulted in a lawsuit in April of 1996.
We'll get to Van Hammer later.
Oh, okay. He is in this. Yes, against Bob Guccione from Penthouse. The judge ruled against their case, saying that the tape was and photographs were newsworthy.
Weren't newsworthy. Have you seen her tits?
No, the judge ruled against Pamela and Tommy's case, saying the tape and photographs were newsworthy.
Well, yes, he's right.
It's newsworthy that the whole world gets to see you diddle your thing and ride his man hammer.
On what planet is news a viable excuse to show porn to people?
Have you seen her boobs in his man hammer? That's newsworthy.
We've all seen Barbed Wire.
Yeah, and Playboy.
And Playboy.
And their sex tape. See?
I have seen
newsworthy.
it. Well,
Yeah.
I've seen about 11 seconds of it, but yeah.
And he was done. He didn't need to watch it
By
anymore.
the time they get to the lake, DJ's already turned it off.
Is that Pam Anderson
The
again?
acting was terrible.
But the
Look,
driving
Pat,
of the
I'm done
boat
with
was
this shit.
great.
Wait, is that are they unzipping her chick? Just 6 months after their first son was born, the two filed for divorce in November of 1996. Mind you, this is 1998. Just 1 month later, that filing was dropped and the two moved back in together. Less than 2 months after
Good
their
plan.
second child was born, Pamela filed battery charges here in February of 98.
Pamela Anderson came into public prominence after being selected as the February 1990 Playboy Playmate of the Month following her appearance on the cover of the magazine's October 1989 issue.
You're wrong.
I mean,
She gained prominence in Canada because she was noticed at a Blue Jays game and became a Labatt spokesgirl.
Okay, whatever. She
Stop
then
being
went on to
terrible.
make regular appearances on the magazine's cover, holding the record for most Playboy covers by any individual.
Fuck Canada, buddy.
Here in 1998, Lee was sentenced to 6 months in jail for his assault of his then wife. A long custody battle would soon follow and was not finalized until 2002 when they were both granted joint custody. How the hell did she have issues getting sole custody of her children after it was proven in a court of law that he assaulted her?
Right?
That's fair.
He literally pleaded no contest to kicking Anderson while she was holding their baby.
Wow.
The altercation started over Anderson's refusal to call and ask her parents to not come over to the family's house.
At least they called. My
Maybe her
in-laws.
mom's a bitch.
My in-laws just kind of show up. At least they called.
Maybe it's like a everybody loves Raymond kind of situation.
Lee would then go on to assault his wife, leave her with bruises and a torn fingernail while
Ow.
she feared for her safety.
All right, come on, torn fingernail.
I
That shit
mean,
hurts,
I
bro.
know he's got like a 36-inch wang, but that dude is ugly as shit. Are you kidding me?
He's really good at drumming, though. I seen it.
He can't do that with one arm, so I don't want to hear it.
Well,
But they
has
put him in
9
a
arms and
harness.
Sucks.
When I saw when I saw him, he was on like a little loop-de-loop thing, and he was going upside down doing it. So that's
well, yeah, because he can put both of his feet up in the air, and you can see him, but you can still hear the bass drum because he's using his dick.
All right, let's get on to her. I mean, Pamela Anderson cleaned her shit up. Let's talk
Did she?
about this. Yeah. Anderson has been critical of pornography.
Dumb.
In 2016, she co-authored a viral opinion article in the Wall Street Journal with Orthodox Rabbi Shmuley Boteach.
Stop it.
I am
I gotta
making,
change our damn name now to Shmuley Boteach.
I am making none of this up.
That can't be real.
Shmuley Boteach.
In this article, they called online pornography a quote public hazard of unprecedented seriousness. They do realize she invented the genre, right?
Also, you got to make sure you close the curtains for you whack it. Everyone knows that.
What
not
what in
it's
the
not
hell is
public.
going on here? The two called for a quote sensual revolution to replace quote pornography with eroticism, the alloying of sex with love, of physicality with personality. I don't know what they're saying. Of the body's mechanics with imagination, of orgasmic release with binding relationships. Huh?
So it's fancy porn. It's high dollar porn.
I no, they don't like porn. They
The alloying of sex with love.
Isn't that how it works? Smoothie boat.
They're like, all porn now has to be between married couples and only missionary positions allowed.
From here on out, I'm no longer saying the word shit. I'm saying schmooly.
They later gave a
Son of
joint
a
lecture. They later gave a joint lecture at Oxford University to over 1,000 people, all 1,000 of them.
I'm sure that was riveting.
Like looking at cooters are bad. Okay.
Let me tell a bunch of 19-year-olds like, hey, porn, you shouldn't watch that. Like,
yeah,
I'm watching it right
especially
now.
when they're British.
Especially in 2016 when porn's
do
at
your
its height
porn with
Pornhub
better teeth,
and-
Britain.
Like I'm watching it right now on my phone. Can you be quiet, please? I'm almost there. You're throwing off my rhythm.
The two also wrote a book together, Lust for Love, about how meaningful, passionate sex has been declining. Well, that happens when you don't have a 13-inch man hammer.
Y'all think she
Ain't-
banged Schmuley?
Absolutely.
Surely Schmuley and her got it on, right? Surely.
Ain't-
I love
Schmuley.
saying schmuley.
Smiley
probably like- his name's probably like
Smiley
Schmul-
alone.
His name's probably like Schmalay.
And called for a new sensual revolution that emphasizes partners connecting in the bedroom, like Tommy used to connect. Huh? What are they talking about?
Hey, if you Google Schmuley Botich, pops right up.
What's he look like?
A rabbi.
Has he got the little curly things on the side?
TJ, remember the
tell me.
guys in Chicago when we were flying back from Miami or flying down to Miami?
Yes.
That's Schmuley
There
was one of
so
them.
many of them.
Yeah, that was him.
By the way, the whole time she was fucking Kid
He
Rock.
has a TV show known as Shalom in the Home.
We need to do a follow-up.
I have to watch this.
We
This
need
is
to do a
great.
follow-up story on Shirley because he's the most
Smiley
fascinating
Botich.
in the story.
Shalom in the Home was an American family-centered weekly hour-long primetime television series on TLC.
Is Mr. Cooper in it? Because I'm not watching it if he's not.
Of course he is. He's
Okay.
third in charge.
Okay, good.
Rabbi Cooper.
Shalom in the Home. Timmy, I think it's your turn.
Huh? That means it's my turn.
Mm.
Let's go to Timmy's Trivioki.
Figaro. Figaro, 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 Figaro.
That's not Tosca.
Ugh, my ears. My neck, my back.
Yep. I remember. Everyone remembers when Elvis performed that.
Jamaica. Ooh, I wanna take it. Bermuda, Bahama, come on, pretty mama. Ilana, Montego, baby. All right. Welcome to February 1998. Yes, I know. I've seen her. Seen her
Shalom in the
naked.
Home.
Is that her and Shmuley?
Yeah.
He made her wear the bathing suit, huh?
That's how you have sex, kids, with the bathing suit.
They didn't have kinks. No, we will do this only missionary. Take off your yarmulke.
Do
You know, in this home,
rabbis
passionate
get to have
sex is...
sex, right?
No,
I think so.
I don't know. You know, in this household, passionate sex mean me
Dave,
watching
look
you
it
take
up.
your socks off.
Do rabbis get to have sex? Anyway,
Do
let's go to
rabbis
song number one. Clue
get
number one.
bang?
This is the second single from Big Pun's debut album, Capital Punishment.
Crush a lot.
Nope. Fat Joe, Cormega, Onyx, which is weird. Onyx.
Slam.
The Beat Nuts.
Let the
Which
boys
is
be
also a
born.
good name. Guru, Tony Touch, and Loud Records R&B artist Davina all made featured appearances in the music video as cameos. Shmuley did not, by the way.
Is that Tony Schiavone?
I'm not a player. I just crush a lot.
Getting closer.
No big pun.
Clue number
Dave,
three.
Dave, you're the only hope here. I'm out. So
In the
Uptown, baby.
In the Up and Smoke tour in 2000, Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre played this song as a tribute to Big Pun. The song was also remixed by Incubus, which is
I went to the Up and
awesome.
Smoke tour in 2000, by the way.
Which was featured Big Pun's vocals in the 2000 rap rock album Loud Rocks, released 7 months after his death. You know the song, you're just not getting the title right.
Crush a Lot.
I hope you're talking to Dave.
What's the other one?
I just crushed a lot.
I said that.
He said
Stupid.
that.
The name of the song is Still Not a Player.
Oh, I'm not going to be a
Player
player
no
no more. I'm not a player. I just fuck a lot. All right, I get it. I get the point on that.
I get the point on that.
You don't get the point. No.
I get half a point. I want to hear it.
I have zero
And he
faith
was really
in
fat,
either
so
of you.
3/4 of a point.
No, Fat Joe, which is weird because Big Pun was way fatter than Fat Joe.
Yeah.
He should have been Skinny Joe compared to Big Pun.
You couldn't measure his dick with 6 rulers.
Well, is Big Pun's name Joe? Because if not, he's still Fat Joe.
Well,
His
he
name
was
was
fat. Just
His name was Punifa. Big Pun.
Punifa. His name was Shmooly Big Pun.
Old Punbert over there.
Song number 2. Clue number 1. I have zero faith on either of you for this song.
You should pick better songs then.
This is a song by Canadian rock band Bare Naked Ladies from their 1992 album Gordon.
It's been 1 week
No
since
weeks
you
since I
looked at
looked
me.
at you.
I'm sorry.
The song was written by Stephen Page as a tribute to the Beach Boys co-founder.
Chinese chicken with choking in the chicken. And the shoo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo.
This song 2000 is a shortened form of the song for radio play, recorded to sound more like their live performance than the original Gordon version did.
That's the only Bare Naked Lady song I know.
However,
Look at me.
focus on the
You
fact
had
that
me
it's a
out,
tribute
sorry.
to the Beach Boys co-founder.
No, we heard you, Brian Wilson. Dave said this in
And
last
I was
week's show.
300
No,
pounds,
Timmy said
and
it.
oh,
Timmy
I
said
was
it.
very heavy.
Never heard this
I
song.
floated till I couldn't see the ground. I floated till I could not see.
I just happened to listen to last week's show today, and Timmy referenced it in the Beach Boys.
It's been, I listened to it today too. 1 week since you looked at me. I'm sorry.
Crazy.
This song.
Lying
I still
in
got the
bed,
rug burn on
just
both my
like
knees.
Brian Wilson did. Well, I'm lying in bed just like Brian
Yeah, your
Wilson
song,
did.
for the record, are shit. I mean, I'm up 1-0, but your songs are terrible.
Fabulous song.
No.
By the way, Bare Naked Ladies put on a great live show.
I'm not singing that shit.
Right up there with Hootie and the Blowfish.
What? How dare you?
They played together 2 years ago. I
You
seen
will
it.
not mention Hootie and the
I'd rather
Bare
get a
Naked Ladies
circumcision from Shmuley than go to a Bare Naked Ladies.
he can do that, and he'll make it not hard by talking about
So
not
we need to start.
doing porn.
We need to start doing T-shirts again, so we can make one that says Shmuley with a hard U. Shmuley.
Just no, we can put his whole name. He ain't gonna sue us. Shmuley
I'm not worried
Boutique.
about it. No, what's the U with the 2 dots on top of it? What do they call that?
No, you don't put 2 dots.
That's
You put a
called a
yarmulke.
Shmuley.
You put a
Call it
yarmulke on top of it instead of an umlaut. You put a yarmulke. at the top
Umlaut.
of
Look
the
at
U.
you.
Yeah, I'm kind of smart. Thanks.
Yeah. With
Song number 3.
German punctuation, you're smart.
I have zero faith in you for this one either. I
I just
y'all.
got the last one, bitch.
Luckily.
Yes.
This is a song by Australian
Good day.
pop duo Savage Garden, released March 1997 as the 3rd single from their self-titled album
Chicka Cherry Cola.
Savage Garden. No,
Okay.
that is not a song anywhere.
That's one of their lyrics, though.
I knew I loved you before.
that is
I
the
met
Backstreet
you.
Boys.
No,
We
it's
Own
not.
the Night. Is that it?
What? We Own the Night.
We Own the
Night.
Clue number 2.
I love
His family and then wife pushed him towards writing the song that would express those feelings.
Macho Man Randy Savage Garden.
Clue number 3. I'm sorry, what?
Macho Man Randy Savage Garden.
Exactly. Yes. By the way,
Look,
that needs
Savage
to be part of the
Garden. I knew
artwork.
I loved you, idiot face.
That is not it. Still not it.
Oh, that's the only song by them I know.
There are two versions of the song.
I
The
want
first was-
you.
the first was made available
I hate
on the
you.
Australian version of the group's
Good
album,
day.
whereas the second version was the release for Europe and America.
T-
This
Truly
version-
madly deep.
It's weird. Two dudes playing that. So the final score today is 1-1.
Yeah.
No, I got 1.5, bitch.
1.5.
Hit
Hey,
my
Dave.
clip.
I know how you can make it up, Dave.
Hit my clip.
Oh, it's time for Dave's Fave. Have you seen it?
You slip her the hot beef injection.
Can we talk about how that clip? There's one person that is just so hot.
Anna Kendrick.
Donatello.
Donatello, yeah. Okay. that's-
Donatello.
All right, here we go. New
man.
month, no score.
Like it.
I
3
win.
movies this week.
Mm-mm.
Movie number A. With a budget of $18 million, our first movie this week grossed more than $123.3 million at the box office.
You're pretty good.
It's good return on investment.
This is an American romantic comedy film.
I'm in trouble.
You have seen this movie.
Okay.
Robbie, a singer.
Wedding singer.
TJ Stevens.
You're lying.
Yeah.
I beat him by like a second and a
No,
half.
you
He
didn't.
beat
You
you
did.
by like 3 seconds.
Lying.
Robbie, a singer, and Julia, a waitress, are both engaged, but to the wrong people.
Julia Gulia?
Julia Gulia?
Julia?
Fortune intervenes to
Imagine if
help
she
them
married
discover
Julie.
each
It'd be
other.
Smoothie Gulia.
Movie number B.
John Lovitz.
On a budget of $25 million. Our second movie this week grossed more than $56 million at the box office.
Broke
Yikes.
even.
This is a British musical comedy film,
Spice World.
and it is one of Dave's faves. The world famous pop group zips around London in their luxurious double-decker
Spice
tour bus,
World?
having various Spice World.
I said it like 5
He did.
minutes ago.
I know,
As
but
soon
I
as
don't
you said-
care.
As soon as you said British pop, whatever, he's like
Just
Spice
like
World.
when I beat TJ the first time. I don't
It's
care.
also
if
it's
Timmy
also
said
good to
it
know
first.
Timmy's a complete dork.
TJ gets that point anyway.
Thank you.
What?
I hate you. I hate you.
On a budget of $8 million, movie number C this week grossed more than $17.5 million at the box office.
Also broke
More
even.
than 17.5 million.
It was 17.5 million.
This
and a
movie is
dollar.
another one of Dave's faves. It's an American stoner comedy film.
Half baked.
Boom, TJ Stevens. This is a story of 3 not so bright men, Thurgood, Scarface, and Brian, who come up with a series of crazy schemes to get a friend. Schemes to get a friend Kenny
Schmooly.
out of
Schmooly.
jail after he
Schmooly.
accidentally kills a police horse with candy.
That half baked might be the OG cult classic.
It was the OG stoner comedy bomb.
I
What
love that
a
movie.
great
Dazed and
movie.
Confused.
The doctor said I need a backiotomy.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
You're
Fuck
cool.
you. You're cool. Love that movie. I had it on tape, VHS.
Show me your mean face.
Eh.
I want to talk to Samson.
You know what I want to talk to? I want to talk to Eric Bischoff for WCW Thunder, February 12th,
I
1998.
want to punch him in his dick for it.
We're in some building in Oklahoma City. They never specified. Your announcers, Tony Schiavone, Bobby Heenan, Lee Marshall, and they sprinkle in some special guests here and there.
Lee Marshall,
Lee Marshall,
What?
Stagger Lee Marshall.
1986 WrestleMania LA Arena ring announcer.
Lee Marshall.
Lee Marshall. Yeah.
He was also
He was
the announcer for
he was the ring announcer at
AWA.
WrestleMania 2 in
He was
LA.
also the announcer for AWA and Tony the Tiger.
Great.
Dave, how'd you feel about Thunder when they announced the creation of the show?
Man, I was so excited when WCW announced that they'd be running a second weekly show every week.
Yeah, because they needed 2 more hours in addition to the first.
Little
one.
did we all know it would be a B show that most of the stars would avoid like the plague because of how their contracts were written.
I knew.
But
didn't
we
know
got
that.
Booker T and DDP and Benoit and those guys because of it. So I liked watching Nitro because you got to see all the guys you never saw on Nitro.
Everyone liked watching Nitro. They didn't like watching Thunder.
No, I liked watching Thunder because you never saw
Well,
the
you
guys.
said Nitro.
Well, I made a mistake. Okay,
I like
It happened.
Nitro. I like Nitro from American Gladiators.
because you always saw you only saw the people on Thunder you never saw on Nitro, so I liked it.
Big fan of Sick Boy, huh?
No, but I was a fan of Benoit and Jericho and Booker T
Lodi.
and DDP.
Lodi was the shit.
Lodi was the shits.
I'm not a big fan of Benoit.
Well, I was at the time in 1998, not now, obviously. Dingleberry.
Yeah, I used to be a big fan of McMahon, not now.
Don't you?
No,
Don't paint me in that corner, shitbird. We start the show with the intros. We're setting up for Sting versus Hogan and Super Brawl. Shivani goes through the card for tonight when out comes Hollywood Hogan. And this was my initial thought. People can say what they want about Eric Bischoff, and the Nitro book by Guy Evans has sort of ruined the narrative about Bischoff as a bad businessman and he spent money like a drunk and all other shit. But that's not important. We just like shitting on Bischoff. Here's what I'll say. Eric Bischoff in February 1998 is over. He is
The hair.
He is a heel to the max here in 98.
I love how we start the show with the NWO music. Bow, 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 bow. But it's obviously dubbed over because it was the normal NWO music and not Hogan's usual voodoo child he used at the time. And Tony even says it's Hogan's music.
Epic. I love that he used it. He used that in WWE too.
Bow, bow, bow.
It's not Voodoo Child. It's Voodoo
Child.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of rewrote it.
Talk to text. I get it.
Voodoo Child.
Bischoff starts the promo saying the NWO is declaring war on anyone affiliated with WCW, including Ted Turner and CNN Tower. Hogan says the first man on his hit list is Bret Hart, even though they never wrestled.
It's a hit list. It's got Bret Hart on it.
And they never wrestled. Due to Bret getting involved in the finish of Starrcade 97, which was a giant debacle, then Hogan calls out Savage to fix some family issues. Hogan says, with everything that's been going on and all that Hogan and Savage have gone through together, it's time for an apology. Then Hogan announces that on Nitro, it'll be Savage and Hogan against Sting and Luger. Then Hogan says that Savage fumbled the ball when Hogan gave him the ball and wants Macho Man to apologize to him. Savage says he's sorry and he should have done this sooner and decks Hogan and Bischoff, and the crowd goes ape shit. It'll be one of the last times of the show. WCW, when it was
It was
good,
the last time.
WCW,
2 minutes in.
When WCW was good, it was really good. I love this segment.
Hulk Hogan, and I quote, called Bret Hart that no good yellow-bellied coward Canadian. No truer words have ever been spoken.
This is also true. Dave, you talk about how the Warrior and Piper's promos were terrible.
Piper sucked.
This
So
Hogan
bad.
promo was terrible too.
I didn't think it sucked.
There was never a bad Hogan promo ever.
But so Macho Man doesn't have a theme
maybe
song?
the one in the bedroom with Bubba the Love Sponge wasn't very good, but
That was his wife, Heather Clem.
yeah, Heather Clem.
Put respect on her name when you say it. She took all that.
I hope they put a tarp on that bed.
Should have put it. Never mind. So Macho Man, no theme song here. Cool. Good job.
You know, Timmy, that wasn't uncommon back then for somebody to come out with no theme music.
But
Made
from
it
his
seem
promo, I can't figure out, is Hogan feuding with Sting or Bret Hart or Macho Man?
It's all of them.
Stop it.
It's all of them.
Oh, okay.
Match 1. Prince Iakea takes on Kidman with Lodi. For some reason, Louis Spicoli is now on color commentary. I always liked Thunder because, like we said earlier, get to see the guys
Because of
normally
Louis
see on Nitro.
Spicoli, correct.
Because of Louis and Prince Iakea. During the match, we go
The
backstage.
NWO's drug runner, Louis Spicoli.
Yeah, right. During the match, we go backstage to see Raven and Riggs just hanging out in the hallway. And then Mortis shows up, and Raven asks if Mortis wants to join the flock.
I love it. They just cut right in the middle of the match, and they were gone for like 2 minutes.
But Shivani's like, there's something going on backstage, and they cut to these two sitting on the floor. What cameraman picked
They were
that up?
getting high. This is
Holy
the
shit,
original
they're
drug
sitting. I
test.
better hold on, guys. All right, go. I don't want to miss this. Raven says that if Mortis wants to join the flock, he has to be himself, not hide behind a mask of hate. Oh, and P.S. You have to be DDP tonight. I have to say, as far as the match goes, which, by the way, if you forgot already, was Prince Iakea and Kidman. It was okay, but the crowd couldn't give him less of a shit. Kidman hits a 7-year itch for the win. I just poked myself directly in the eye.
Are we sure that was Billy Kidman? Because that guy looked homeless. There's no way he banged Tori Wilson.
He did, though. Not
He
maybe
loves
not
homeless
no
guys.
clothes, but he did.
Prince Iakea sucked, by the way.
He was terrible.
Yep.
Even when he was the artist formerly known as Prince Iakea, he sucked.
Trash.
It really wasn't a bad match, but when you cut away from the match in the middle of it for like 2 minutes to show two guys sitting on the floor, you ain't getting over ever, buddy.
And Riggs is like, "Oh, Morris is here. Let me leave you two alone." Morris
So-
doesn't talk.
So did they not have music in WCW in 1998?
You
'Cause
really need
neither
to
of
let
these
that
guys
go.
had music either.
The Flock didn't have music. Raven did. The
Neither
Flock
did
did not.
It's Iakea.
He had music.
Not in this show.
He did.
And then as I text to type it, print Iakea.
Prince Iakea.
The chair from IKEA looks like Rey Mysterio and Haku had a love child.
Also, we're forgetting former television champion Prince Iakea at this point.
I don't care.
Saw that
Kidman-
Nitro live.
There you go.
Kidman, to Dave's point, looks like the Brooklyn Brawler and the Repo Man had a love child. Which, how did that bang Dory?
How
Wilson?
dare you sully the good name of the Repo Man?
And then, like you guys said, we cut away from something was going down, but
I want to know. what
literally
producer-
they were down. They had their asses on the floor.
I want to know what producer was backstage and was like, Tony, Tony, there's some shit going down. We have to go backstage.
Nothing
There's
was
two
going
guys-
down. It is
Riggs
obviously a pre-tape.
Riggs and Raven are having a philosophical conversation. You need to come backstage.
Terrible.
Shivani brings up that the Steiners recently won the tag team titles, but they're going to turn around and defend the titles against the Outsiders at Super Brawl, which was not the following Sunday after this, but the Sunday after. This show is now famous because it's when Scott Steiner turned on Rick.
After what? After.
After. I forgot the Steiners won the tag titles and Rick Steiner was never tagged in. I forgot that match happened.
He came into Wolf and Scott Steiner
Yeah.
kaplowed him.
Yeah. No, I meant when the match the Steiners won the tag titles, Scott wrestled the whole match. I mean, now it makes sense knowing what happens, but at the time you were like, what? Why wasn't Rick ever tagged in?
He's old.
Match 2, Mang with Jimmy Hart takes on the now babyface Hugh Morris. I can still remember the match where Mang fought Goldberg for the WCW title, got the tongue and death grip, and for whatever reason, never explained, just let go. He should have won.
He had to keep the streak going.
I'm talking about that match because this match was the shits.
They should have
During
just
the
had
match-
Meng kill him in real life.
Yes, I agree. During the match, Shivani announced that at
Beat his
Super Brawl,
ass.
Larry Zbyszko will take on Louis Spicoli.
That
Great.
seems like a match that would sell out
Any arena in the world.
most
Man,
targets in the
Would
country.
totally sell out Rocket City Championship Wrestling Arena.
Absolutely. Today, if they did it. Larry Zbyszko and the corpse of Louis
Spicoli's
Spicoli. would still
dead.
say- Fine.
This
I
guy's
just said
dead.
the corpse. Mang wins with the tongue
I'd
and
rather
death grip.
see Rad Radford.
This match was the drizzling shits.
I'd rather see mass transit.
Aren't both these guys in the Dungeon of Doom?
Hugh Morris has turned.
It was a humorous turn.
Yeah.
I think Ming is one of the very few wrestlers that was actually better utilized in WCW than the WWF back in
I
the day.
agree. I agree.
We
Not
all
gonna argue
remember
with that.
Haku, but we all know his Ming run much better.
Right.
Morris misses the no laughing matter, and Ming had moved before he even finished climbing the top rope. He was what? And he just okay, I'll just jump here.
No, you know, Jimmy Hart was supposed to move him and didn't.
Yeah.
Because Giovanni even said Jimmy Hart got involved. He didn't.
But all I cared about was Ming winning with the tongue and death grip. And then he went crazy and beat up Barbarian and then tried to kick Jimmy Hart's head off.
He damn near did.
Could you imagine if that would have connected?
No. No, I can't.
His head would have flew into the crowd.
Oh,
By the way, TJ, you did a much better job explaining why Ming and Hugh Morris are fighting than the announcers did, because they just kind of we don't know.
these two bulls are going to face off.
Yeah, they're
Well, even Spicoli said, aren't these guys in the Dungeon of Doom?
yes. So good job. And welcome to WCW, where we book two guys from one stable to match together. There's your shitting on.
Well,
Bischoff.
what's great is this is why I love WCW 1998. So you have Ming, the defender of the Dungeon of Doom, and Hugh Morris, who had recently, it might have even been the Monday before. I didn't research it because I don't give a shit. But Hugh Morris just left the Dungeon of Doom and turned babyface.
How do you
after
leave
the-
the Dungeon of Doom exactly?
You just
Throw
leave.
down your weird card. Or
You're just
what?
like, hey, Kevin, I don't want to do this anymore. And he's like, all right, that's cool. But like after
Here's
this
my
match
2
was,
weeks notice.
after this match was over, Meng attacks Barbarian and Jimmy Hart and turns babyface. What are we doing?
You know what? Every 98 WCW show we watch, I'm like, what are we doing?
There are two people wrestling and somehow three people turned heel. How did we do that? How did we do that?
The good old triple turn.
Match 3. Mortis with James Vandenberg goes one-on-one against DDP with the U.S. title on the line. DDP's rise to the top is, we're here. And we're just 5 months away from him teaming up with Cara Malone at Bash at the Beach in one of the worst main events I've ever watched. I don't give a shit what anybody says. I still say that DDP should have ended Goldberg's streak at Halloween Havoc 98. I will die on that hill.
Well, no one would have seen it.
Well, right. Well, that's not his fault. Everything DDP does, the crowd's just going ape shit. DDP hits the diamond cutter, the crowd goes nuts. DDP gets the win.
Oh, great. Mortal Kombat WCW's here.
No, Glacier's later. Glacier's later. He's later in the show.
Well, that was the green Mortal Kombat guy, Lizard or whatever his name was.
What the hell was his name? I'll look it up. Go ahead.
Shmooly.
At least we get to
Lizard.
see a diamond cutter.
Shmuley.
But I can't get down with this generic fake DDP music they have on the network.
Well,
No, it's terrible.
But my God, Reptile was his name. Page was white hot here. Dude, this was crazy. He was so over. And hot take, Diamond Cutter's better than the RKO.
incorrect.
Randy Orton.
No,
sucks.
that's
I
absolutely
can
correct.
I can tell you from watching this show, Diamond Cutter is not better than the RKO because Randy delivers the RKO from so many different places.
I
DDP
would
did too.
I would agree with you, but then
DDP slow and prodding.
I would agree with you, but then we both be wrong. So go ahead.
Mark
whatever.
Marrow's TKO was better than the RKO.
Oh.
You're incorrect.
Wow.
Mortis here looks like a goth version of Slim Goodbody. Look that shit up.
I don't want to. I legit
Slim
don't know who that is.
Goodbody. You know what it is. You know what Slim Goodbody is, right?
I don't.
Oh my! Look it up. Just hold on. This
Tell
is
us
gonna
another
be-
story, Gramps.
Look up. Yes. that's
Oh,
Slim
okay. Yeah, I know.
Goodbody.
Okay, yeah.
No, you need a full body version of it.
I've seen it, Dick. After the match, the flock comes out and grabs up Mortis. Raven then DDTs Mortis on the ramp. So that's fun.
Mortis.
Now we
But
get a
less
video
gothic.
package. Well, the feud between Steve McMichael and the British Bulldog. I forgot about this entirely, probably for good reason.
Yeah, me too.
Because it
In the
was
video-
terrible. That's why.
In the video package,
Great
they
show
showed,
here, DJ.
they showed Mongo hitting an ugly ass side slam, and then Bulldog hitting an ugly ass power slam. Why did we choose those two moves to show in the
Poor
video
chose.
package? Let's show two botches in this heated rivalry. Then we see highlights of their next match, and Bulldog almost kills himself, clotheslining Mongo out of the ring. These two fighting is ugly, but I will say, I don't necessarily hate it.
So if you hate that,
It makes it look like a real fight.
TJ, it's your turn.
Match 4. It only gets better from here, folks. You're like, hey, the Bulldog can sell. Well, Jim Neidhart cannot, and he's fighting Steve McMichael next. This should be a Matt classic.
Either.
First note, this should be a Matt classic. Mongo tries to behead Neidhart with the stairs, or at least that's what it looks like. When Bulldog comes out about 9 seconds too late and stops Mongo, Mongo wins by disqualification. That's all this match deserved.
Boy, I couldn't think of a match I'd rather not watch more than this one.
Yeah, this match should have never happened.
I don't wish to speak ill of the deceased, and I hate Bret Hart. Neidhart was nothing without Bret Hart. If it wasn't the Hart Foundation, he was nothing.
Yeah. Hey, he was over in Mid-South, but that was it.
A DQ. Boy, saw that one coming a mile away.
So you talk about Neidhart not being able to sell. You know who can sell? His daughter, Jenny Neidhart. If you go to onlyfans.com/Jenny Neidhart, you can watch her sell.
Huge.
Can you see her nipples?
Yes.
I've never seen them.
Who knew Mongo feuded with the Hart Foundation the entire year of 1998? That's weird.
Well, I mean, we're only in February, so.
I'm pretty sure it goes on 10 months.
And I think Bulldog left before the end of 98 and went back to WWF.
I think he was dead.
He broke his back in 98. He was at Halloween Havoc with the trap door or wherever.
All right, so they made it the whole year. Good for them.
He was dead.
I remember watching the Hart Foundation at Club La Vila that year.
Although I'm confused as why the ref rang the bell before the Bulldog even touched Mongo. That doesn't make any sense.
Because he had British pants on.
Get that British fuck out of here. He's using U's where they shouldn't be.
Hey, we already won 300 years ago. Throw this match out. Match 5, Buff Bagwell with Vincent takes on Gentleman Chris Adams, that British dick. The pattern continues. I wonder how
British dick coming to a trailer park near you.
Right. I wonder how Vincent feels knowing that his entire career was a rib. Do you know what his name was after Vincent in WCW? I forgot about this until today. I found it on accident. And he was. Do you remember he was in the West Texas Rednecks as Curly Bill?
That's right.
Terrible. His entire career was a rib. He was Virgil after Dusty Rhodes, and then Vince after Vince McMahon. And then Curly Bill after. Bald. Why, Lord.
Actually, no, Curly Bill, if you've ever watched Tombstone, was the coward. So it was still completely
rib.
A rib.
Vincent has one of the worst interference spots ever. Adam kicks him off the top rope, and then Buff hits the blockbuster for the win. Then Vincent just no-sells the kick, gets back up and raises Buff's hand. So good job. Good job on you.
Not going to lie. I was a fan of Buff Bagwell as a heel.
Well,
I thought he
should like him then.
I thought he should have been the babyface coming out of the NWO. He should have been the one to rise up against them, but it never happened.
Well, but had he not broken his neck, I wonder how it would have
No, that's true.
turned around. I mean, dude was like a 4-time Rookie of the Year.
Whew, that's like an episode 2 joke there.
I wonder if Klondike still has his Buff Bagwell hat.
He does.
Oh, yeah.
He does.
I
made
forgot
the
about
move.
that.
But seriously, some guy that's having his mom shave his balls, you're going to make him babyface. Okay, cool.
I mean, we didn't know that she was shaving his balls at the time.
What the hell was Chris Adams doing here in 1998?
Ma,
Okay.
you got to get up under the taint better.
Chris Adams was doing cocaine here in 1998.
In trailer parks. I have a feeling if they're in Oklahoma City, he's going to find one, though. Buff is actually flexing during this match more than he's wrestling, which cool.
He was a good heel.
Shocker. Buff beats Chris Adams in 1998.
I was stunned.
I'm so surprised. Yes. Terrible.
Here's my arguably probably my favorite part of this show, just because of how just abrupt it was. We go through this whole package of how Bret Hart's now the target of Hollywood Hogan, the NWO. And then the next sentence out of Tony Schiavone's mouth, Now let's get a special look at Juventud Guerrera. And then match 6, he ain't in it. Chavo Guerrero Jr. takes on Chris Jericho, who is the current cruiserweight champion. 1998 Chris Jericho is my favorite Chris Jericho,
Ralphus.
and it's not even close. It is not even close.
Well, definitely better than like 2019 to 2023 Chris Jericho. Because
leaps and bounds.
Do you guys see what he looked like on that cruise ship?
No.
Melted ice cream.
He
Ronald
looked
McDonald.
horrible.
Ronald McDonald for one song I saw.
Ronald McDonald at one point.
This match completely changed the pace of the show. Good match, fast paced, but Jericho gets the Lion Tamer for the win. After the match, Hoovy Juice comes out and Jericho gets the better of him. Tries to unmask Hoovy, but Hoovy regains control and Jericho powders. I like this match. This is a good match.
Jericho was such a great heel, even in his younger years here in WCW.
And
He was so vanilla as a babyface.
I agree, yes.
And it really got rolling when he became a heel.
But he didn't have crazy hair yet, so he was just getting warmed up here in 98. There she is.
We're almost done.
How is the Merlot?
They asked, how is the Merlot?
Delicious. I'm gonna need y'all to wrap up so I can.
I was gonna say it's sex night. We gotta hurry up.
I need to have him. We'll wrap.
Wow, it's the only time anyone's ever needed to have
They
Dave.
That means it's sex night.
I know I'm about to go get naked in the shower.
We can't
Hurry
leave this
up.
in the show.
So TJ and I will be finishing the show by ourselves.
I'm finishing right now.
TJ's finishing right now. Give me 10 minutes tops.
All right, I'll go pack my lunch, but that's all the time you get.
Okay, 10 minutes. Let's go,
We're
guys.
at match 7.
We're in match 7 of 10.
We gotta talk about Wrath still.
Hold on. Who picks these long matches?
TJ right there.
TJ, that is a terrible choice.
10 fucking matches.
That's a long time.
Well,
I
when
didn't
you're used to
expect to
having
see
sex
10
with
matches
Dave
in 2 hours
for 30
okay?
seconds, then yes, 10 matches is a long time.
All right, let's finish this up.
We're working on it, bitch.
We were going much faster beforehand.
Now I'm going real fast.
He's the one that WWE made into a megastar with the flounder in the lower card here at WCW.
Nice. That was good.
But the 10 matches on this card, the longest match was like 5.5 minutes.
Yes. Hey, if you guys haven't had enough yet, look at this match. Match 7. Stick Boy takes on the British Bulldog.
What?
I have a feeling I know how this ends. Right as the match starts, Eric Bischoff comes out to the announce position, demands to know who's behind the right-wing conspiracy, in his own words,
Donald
to
Trump.
show they live after this show is done airing. This match is competitive, which is kind of weird. Bulldog gets power slam for the win, and here comes Mongo.
Sick Boy, what a name. Do you guys know he was in the WWF?
Yes, Scott Vick.
From October of
The
1999.
Katie's brother?
Till 2002. He was only on Heat and Metal. I never heard that he was in WWF.
Because he was terrible.
Another literally Bulldog won in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Cool. What's the
Great.
point of these matches?
I saw this and I said, I wonder if Mongo's going to come out during this match. And then we bring out Bischoff so we can ignore the match.
Yes, thank you.
And guess what? Mongo shows up. Woohoo!
Why didn't they just show Bischoff sitting in the hallway backstage? That would have been much better.
We got to interrupt this match so Bischoff can sit there and whack it.
Bischoff's crying in a chair backstage. We go back to a week ago as DDP was defending the U.S. title against Chris Benoit and the Flock interfered. It looks like this show was filmed inside of a bowling alley during happy hour because of how smoky it is. Match 8. Chris Benoit is supposed to be taking on someone as Raven runs out and dropkicks Benoit from behind. Oh, hey, he's wrestling Raven, meaning it's Raven's rules. These two beat the shit out of each other, and as Benoit is getting ready for the headbutt, here comes the Flock. As they're attacking Benoit, here comes DDP from the crowd. Took his time, by the way. DDP clears the house and goes to help Benoit, and Benoit yells, I don't need your help. DDP's response, I loved it. Yeah, you do.
All right, Ravens rules match, no DQs. Benoit picks up the victory. Be a disqualification. Nice.
I agree. So we've been transported to ECW for this match.
Yes.
So it's anything goes, and we disqualify him. Cool.
Yes.
DDP and Benoit, definitely the yin and the yang of 90s wrestlers.
I agree. I really hope Eric Bischoff listens to this. I think we have valuable criticisms. Match 9, Glacier.
Because he's going to go back and change it. He's going to get in his time machine.
Rebook this shit. They're just terrible. Glacier. Yeah, he's still here at 98. He's got boo-boo job face on as he takes on Goldberg. We haven't gotten to Starrcade 98 yet, so the streak is intact. So you know how this match ends. He's still coming out as Bill Goldberg and doesn't have the extravagant entrance, but the streak is on. They're keeping track of it. Spear and jackhammer, good night. The crowd is solidly behind Goldberg.
1 minute and 9 seconds.
Great.
It's going to be later for Dave.
All that money they spent building up Glacier. 1 minute and 9 seconds.
As soon as you said a minute, I thought you were lying. So
blood runs cold.
I thought, I was like, had the Goldberg streak ended at this point? Because they hadn't started
Starrcade
counting
98.
yet. They weren't counting.
Starrcade
I
98.
expected to hear 42-0.
No, it
But they
wasn't a
didn't-
thing yet.
There were no numbers. So
We're still in the WrestleMania 11 of Undertaker streak, so they didn't know the thing yet. So, main event: Ric Flair takes on Lex Luger. Not bad name power. This has always been my biggest question about the NWO time frame. If the NWO is at war with WCW, then why would two WCW guys wrestle in the main event? Why wouldn't they save their energy and focus on the NWO? Whenever two WCW guys were in the main event, would wrestle each other, the NWO would just attack them both, especially Ric Flair. Also, Luger's has a match against Hogan and Savage that was announced during this show. Why did this happen? It's always confused me. Anyways, this feels like the 3,000th time these two have faced off. Luger goes for the rack. We have a ref bump. Flair chop blocks Luger, which isn't illegal, so I don't really know why we needed the ref bump. Flair gets the figure four, but Luger fires up again. Then wouldn't you know it, look who won the pony. Here comes the Macho Man and Hogan, but Hogan attacks Savage while Conan and Bagwell also come out. Sting comes out to even the odds. That's how we go off the air.
How many damn matches are on this show? That's 10.
10.
Main event, Luger and Flair for the 9 millionth time.
In an hour and 44 minutes.
Longest match of the night.
over the course of
5
12
minutes.
years.
5 minutes and 46 seconds. 10 matches with the average match length being 3.5 minutes. That's pretty bad. And even I enjoyed the shorter matches.
Not this short.
3.5 is a little ridiculous.
That's what Jandy will say later.
Ooh.
3.5 inches, though. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little ridiculous. I agree, TJ. So we spent 1997 building up WCW versus NWO, and we've all seen the show as the NWO fight each other, and then WCW fight each other. That seems
Good job.
legit.
Good job, guys.
I'm surprised Flair allowed them to wear black, both him and Luger to wear black trunks for this match because
I don't know if Luger
it looked dumb.
anything else
Yeah, Luger only wore black in WCW.
until he wore jeans.
But Flair was wearing like blue on his boots. So maybe forgot his undies at home. I don't know. Pretty sure they're using the same match script they had from a match in 86, though.
Yeah, it was on WCW Pro.
Yeah. It was on Saturday night.
NWA World Championship Wrestling.
All I could think of was thank God it's over. TJ, take us home, please, dear God.
Well, Dave needs to have sex. So if you enjoyed this week's episode, please let us know.
It'll
Give us
last
that-
less time than this show.
I would hope so. Give us that 5-star
Yeah.
review or get this podcast and rate Dave's penis 5 stars while you're at it. Make sure to follow the show on Twitter at FF Popcast. His OnlyFans at Dave in the HSV. On Instagram at Filter Free Podcast.
No,
Follow
we're
our
skipping that.
Patreon at Filter Free Net. As for us, you can find us all on our social media platforms at Timmy C,
At Timmy C 1979.
Dollar Bill Dave,
Follow me on X at Dave in the
No.
HSV.
and I'm at T Stevens 91. Next week, I can't wait. we cover an episode of World Class Championship Wrestling from February 6th, 1982. I
won't be
didn't
here.
update the story, so I have no idea what happens.
John Holmes.
John
Does
Holmes is a
something.
douche. That I know.
Joke of the week.
Oh, by the way, this has been the Filter Free Podcast for so long for now.
Joke of the week.
I can't wait.
Why does the Norwegian Navy have barcodes on the sides of their ships?
Scandinavian?
So when they come back to port, they can Scandinavian.
Yes! I got one! I got one!